Hey everybody, what's going on? Gigs here with some Awaken Chaos Era. We got our Opal. If you didn't see the summon session yet where I got her, I'll card to it up there. It's a fun one. It's a good session. It's basically part 2 of the one I uploaded a few days ago where it was just raining Legos on us. This one was also pretty good. We popped about 50 shards and obviously ended up with an Opal, but the whole session was pretty fun. So if you haven't seen that, you should go check it out. I brought her up as quickly as I could. I basically expedited her. 6 starter. We farmed up her glyphs to level 5. She benefits from most of her glyphs pretty heavily though. Here we get a little attack, here we get crit rate, and then from these 2 we get speed. So I will certainly glyph her up, but I figured for the sake of a video, we will be fine. These 2, I mean, eventually we'll get on her, but like, you know, is what it is. She's such a cool champ. If you haven't seen it, let's look at her like intro animation real quick, just because it's also really dope. She's so cool, man. I've played around with her a little bit. We're gonna showcase her a little bit today across the game. I'm gonna take her to a few different places. We're gonna see what she can do. One of them being Guild Boss. I think she's gonna be really good in Guild Boss with the way her kit is designed. So we're gonna test her out in there. I'm a little bummed out that I didn't have a Guild Boss key left for the Fire Boss that just ended yesterday. Because I really wanted to test her in there where she had advantage, but we have Water Boss now, so we'll showcase her. We'll get to see what she does, but her A1 kind of ramps up over time, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Actually, we did go ahead and get her skilled up and everything. I don't have the best gear. I've just recently, in the last, I don't know, week or so, after the Ganglio pull, been able to start farming Queen 12. So our gear's getting there, but we have a long way to go, right? We've got a lot of farming to do before we really catch up. So I've geared her the best that I can, and we'll talk about how I geared her and why, but let's talk about her kit real quick. She's got this trait. Her basic ability strength scales with rage. She gains significant rage from repeated attacks on the same target. This is why I think she's going to be so good in Guild Boss, right? The longer the fight goes on, the more rage she piles up on from attacking the same target, and then her A1 scales off of that. So I think Guild Boss is going to be a pretty good place for her. It's a shame we can't get her here yet. It'd be nice to get this, but it's not a huge deal. She's got a pretty cool A1 setup because it's got different abilities to it. So the baseline one, she removes a negative effect and grants herself 1 rage, 100% damage to an enemy. Then removes a negative effect, grants 1 rage, deals 130% damage to an enemy. And this is where the rage comes into play, right? Every time she gets a rage stack, her A1 gets stronger. Removes a negative effect and grants 1 rage, deals 160% damage to an enemy. And then the final version of it removes a negative effect and all rage and deals 200% damage to an enemy. So she kind of like piles her A1 up, and then when it's at its strongest form, she uses all the rage and unloads it into the enemy for a pretty big hit. So we'll see that a few times in the Guild Boss fight, I would imagine. And then here we've got her skilled up so that she can't take more than 51% of max health from and damage from a single attack. So she can't necessarily be one-shotted. I don't know if multi-hits, I haven't been able to catch yet if multi-hits matter. So like if a champ hits her twice, could they one-shot her? I don't. Sometimes I think a single attack in this game is a single attack, and sometimes I think a single attack is the whole turn. So I'm not sure yet. If you guys have caught that, maybe we'll catch it in this video. But if you've caught it elsewhere and you know the answer to that, let me know in the comments. And then her ultimate, 200% damage to an enemy, and grants joint attack for 1 turn, and then extends joint attack by 1 turn upon the defeat of any enemy. So this is also really cool because, again, her A1 is good. So when she gets to join in with her joint attack, we've got this going on. And then for gear, I put her in a cursed set that gives her an opportunity to trigger her A1 again, which again just piles the rage up a little bit quicker. I figured that was probably a pretty good way to go with that. We, again, did the best we could. She could certainly have better stats here. We got kind of unlucky on some of the rolls. Like here we managed to get some crit rate, but in here we got a crit rate roll. Here we had a really good opportunity for crit rate and just didn't touch it. No crit rate there. And then on the ring, again, another good opportunity for a little crit rate and just avoided it. And then we snagged 1 there. So again, she's not awful, but she could certainly be better. Attack could be better. Crit damage could be a little bit higher. Crit rate could be a little bit higher. But again, we did the best that we could with her. So let's bounce around a little bit. We're gonna start with Guild Boss, and then I'm probably gonna take her into Arena and play around with her a little bit. And yeah, we'll just have some fun today. So hopefully you get a kick out of this. All right, so we're in the Guild Boss screen. Let's get Zitlin out of here because he's fire, and that's not going to be good. I think I want to leave Hackern in because Hakron tends to extend our runs a bit, and since it's water, I'm wondering if maybe Yolanda wouldn't be a good one to put in here. She'll give us some shields. She's got the attack buff, and she's pretty good all around, I think. And then I know maybe we'll do one run with Kira, because I think she's just built so much better than my Evra. And then maybe we'll do a run with Evra and just see how it goes, see what we think about it. I think we're finally at a point where we can take Zetlux out of Clan Boss. He does offer a little bit of decent damage, but I feel like it falls off pretty quick in the higher levels. So let's do this run. I think I'm just gonna let him auto. We're gonna see how the fight goes, and then we'll check the battle report at the end and see what kind of damage output we're getting from everybody. I could manual it and probably optimize damage a little bit, but I don't know that I'm super concerned with that. I kind of want to see how an auto run's going to go, because honestly, I tend to auto most of what I do if possible. So we'll see what this would look like on auto. See, that's nasty. And I think her rage is already full. Yeah, so that's what her A1 ult basically looks like. That's the final version of her A1 that stacks from rage, and she got it immediately. So one thing about this, well, no, when she does do her ult, she will throw up joint attack. It just won't get extended, I guess. There it is again. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, joint attack stays up for the turn. It doesn't get consumed the first time she does it. It stays up for the turn, so that's pretty dope. She's basically getting to A1 ult, like, every time she gets a turn. We're in pretty good shape so far here. Yeah, she's just constantly getting to do that. That's nice. She's so cool, man. She's such a fun champ. I really, so far, am really enjoying every champ they've added to the game since I started playing. I think Garrel is really cool. I think Bulin is pretty dope. And I think Opal might be my favorite so far. I haven't gotten to play with Garrel yet, but I've seen him a lot in Arena. He seems very strong in my experience dealing with him. But Opal, man, she's just so cool. Garrel might be stronger. I'm not sure. Again, I don't have any experience with him. But Opal's so freaking cool, man. It's a shame Yolanda didn't have her ult there. Maybe now she can ult. That would be nice. Yes, perfect timing. This is not... All right, here we go. Not a bad run for Otto, honestly. This is probably not like an optimal team either. I just kind of wanted to bring her in here and see what we get out of her. I want to check the battle report and see what her damage output looks like. Alright, so that's a wrap for her. I wonder if her joint attack will work with like Evra's bonus attacks, you know what I mean? I wonder if those count as something that joint attack would stack with. Because that's a lot of turns. Oh, clutch again, dude. He's like 1 HP. All right, not bad. Not a bad run at all. All right, let's check this battle report and see what things look like. If I don't miss it. Hopefully there is a battle report. Yeah, here we go. Look at that. Crazy damage output in comparison. I mean, we knew she wasn't going to do much. But she's geared much better, I think. But she just gets to do so much so often with her joint attacks and with the way her A1 stacks. She just gets to do so much more, man. That's dope. All right, let's do another run. And I won't put the whole run in the video. I'm gonna do a run with Evra instead of Kira, and we're gonna see. I'm not sure how effective he is in here. I don't know. I haven't figured out yet how good poisons are, because to my understanding, the guild boss doesn't have max HP, so I'm not sure how they scale. If you guys are familiar with that, let me know in the comments again. If poisons are a viable approach to this. That's why I'm not putting him in, though. I think if they were, I'd probably look to swap out maybe Hackrin for him or something, but I'm not sure. I guess we could test it right now. I reckon I'm not opposed to testing it. I'll do that. I'll put Ganglio in, and we'll figure that out too. We'll learn something else new in this video. But again, I'm not going to show the whole run. I'm just going to let them do their thing, and then I'll come back when we're taking a look at the battle report and see how it goes. And I'll let you know if like she joint attacks with her bonus attacks and all that. I'll try to make sure I'm paying attention to all that, and I'll let you know at the end of the run. So I'll be back in a sec when this run's over. All right, we're back at the end of the battle here. She dropped, we did 17 rounds. She dropped out at early level 16. We caught an unlucky smack from the boss. Dang it. And he got her out of there early. Even so, even with Evra having several more turns, she still only barely out-damaged Opal, and she has advantage in here, which is worth noting. She does not joint attack with Evra's bonus attack. So we learned that. And he put out 18,000, so it seems like poisons do some work in here, because he's not hitting hard by any stretch of the imagination, so it seems like poisons do a little bit of work in here. I don't know how viable it would be. It might be worth testing some point like a heavy poison comp, you know what I mean? Like really stack poison up with him and come in here and see what kind of total damage output we get. But it seems like poisons are somewhat viable in here. He didn't do quite as much as the just raw damage champs, but it seems like they do something in here. But yeah, pretty cool, man. She's a lot of fun. So yeah, the fact that Evra was here for several more turns and still only barely out-damaged her with advantage is saying something. So it's going to be fun to try her out in a fire team, I think, in a couple weeks when that rolls back around. But let's bounce to Arena. Let's check her out in Arena real quick, I think, now. All right, we found one fight. Unfortunately, it's all 50s. We have to be kind of careful because my win streaks so far has never really let me down. I don't think I've been outsped yet with my win streaks, but the rest of my team is not very close to her in speed, so it's possible we get cut. I usually run Kira instead of Evra, but the thing is, I want Opal to be the first one to go after Winstrex, because I want her to get that joint attack up as soon as possible. If I run my Kira, she's faster, so she goes, and then Opal goes, and it's not as effective. So I feel like if you want to run Opal in Arena, and you're running a Winstrex style comp, you want Opal to be the next one to go after Winstrex, because the quicker that joint attack gets up, the quicker you get the most out of it, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm running Evra, but again, the speed gap between my Winstrex and the rest of the team is vast, so even sometimes if I manage to outspeed, I'll put a stun on the enemy Winstrex, but then sometimes someone else on the team can still cut. So I'm having to pick my fights a little carefully here, but I think in this situation we're going to be okay. So we're going to go ahead and try to drop the defense down. We're going to boost. We're going to let Opal do her thing to get joint attack up, and then we're going to let Evra go, and hopefully, the fight goes on long enough to get to see her in action a little bit here. I notice she doesn't have an animation for her actual ult. She has one for her like full rage A1, which is interesting. So yeah, there's her first joint attack. See now we'll get the most out of her Now we can AoE here. And she'll joint attack again. I feel like that's the most optimal way to put her to work. She's so cool, man. I think one thing that would be kind of sick is if the like final version of her A1 maybe wasn't even necessarily AoE, but if she would bounce around to random targets, maybe. I think that would be pretty sick. But again, she's cool enough as is. We can go ahead and A1 here, honestly. And when enemies get killed, joint attack gets extended, which is also worth noting. That's why I think it's important to get it up quick, so that if, you know, one of your other champs kills someone, that the joint attack goes up longer, and she gets to just constantly be pumping that A1 out. So I'm gonna find us another fight, and we'll be back. All right, here's one that hopefully we won't get interrupted. Yeah, I'm really hoping the speed boost will set us up for success here. I feel like it's probably not a bad idea. No, we'll have a little bit of faith. We'll try to drop the defense down. We'll try to speed boost and hope that everybody just gets their turn here. Geralt might get some counter attacks. It probably wouldn't have been a terrible idea to put the stun on him, but either way. All right, looks like everybody's getting their turn. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go after you. I feel like you might be the bigger problem here. So we're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of damage into you and get our joint attack up. Go ahead and throw down some taunts. I'm fine with that. We'll throw the AoE out and get the joint attack again. Putting in work. We've got the taunts down, so we're good. I love Lunar Melissa, man. She's so good. Okay, why don't we refresh your ult so we can get taunts down again. And this time, let's go after you with the strongest version of our A1. She's fun, man. You put her with the right team, she's gonna be fun, man. We don't even need to stun anybody, honestly. We're good. I feel like pairing her with different elements is gonna be dope too. Like I actually feel like she'd be a lot of fun with Geralt, honestly. Shot him anyway. She did the joint attack anyway. All right. Yeah, she's fun, man. She's fun. I'm going to be interested to see what kinds of teams I start seeing with her in Arena, but I feel like that Windstrex style comp where she goes right after Windstrex and sets herself up with joint attack is going to be a really fun one to do. I just have to be careful about how I do that because, you know, she and Evra especially are so much slower than Windstrex. My Kira has speed boots, so it's not as big of a deal, but yeah, she's fun in Arena. Let's jump over and check out. Let's see if the Fire No Man's Land stage is open, and maybe we'll see if we can get her to do anything special for us in Ash. So we'll check that out now. All right, I'm gonna try this. I'm only up to stage 10 on Ash. I'm gonna see what this does for us, what this kind of setup does for us here. What I'm suspecting is that might be cool for us is when enemies die, she extends her joint attack. So theoretically, by the time we get to the boss, she should have several stacks of joint attack. He won't use his ultimate unless it's on a boss. So she'll already have joint attack by the time we get there. Hydra can hopefully help us take out the minions. She's going to pump a lot of damage into the boss. So I'm going to see. I feel like this might be a pretty decent comp for Ash, even though we don't have healing. Because I don't think he'll wipe us all out before he takes the extra curse damage. So we're going to test it out. I feel like this could be kind of a fun comp, though. And eventually Hydra will get a 6-star, and we'll be in even better shape. But let's see how this works out for us. The problem, actually, now, is that Opal might not get a turn before we get to the boss, so we might not have joint attack up already. We'll see. That's perfect, actually. That worked out perfectly. She did ult. Yeah. Okay, that worked out fine. We've got it here. So if the minions get summoned, I reckon if we were going to do this again, Opal would need to go sooner. Probably, so it might be worth thinking about a little bit more speed on her instead of just going pure raw damage. Maybe a little bit of speed on her is not a bad idea, because we do want her to get that joint attack up as soon as possible. That's pretty important. Probably need a little bit more damage output to make sure we get rid of those little guys too, because I feel like that's a problem. Yeah, so we need to pump more damage out. I feel like she probably needs to go be faster, and then I think overall we just need more damage because we're about to get wiped out now, I think. Close. We were close. There's something there. There's something there for sure. I think with a little bit more optimization, there's probably something there. I don't know that I'm going to spend the time to do it in this video, but I am going to play around with it. And I reckon there will probably be another video on her at some point, because I really want to show her off in Fire Clan Boss, Guild Boss. And then again, maybe when I get an Ash team sorted, when I work out all the kinks here, we'll do another video on her specifically for like an Ash dungeon or something. The Fire No Man's Land stage isn't open. But I bet you she's probably pretty nice in there too. So I think that's it. I think that's a decent showcase of her. We really just wanted to have some fun with her today. And like I said, as I hone in and get things more refined, like if I get a reliable Ash team that involves her, I'll put her in. I'm probably going to rework her and put a little bit of speed on her, just to try to make sure she can go before some of these other champs to get that joint attack up sooner, because we really want to take advantage of that. I think Curse Set is the way to go on her. I think that's a fun one as well. But that's it. Hopefully you got a kick out of this. Hopefully you had some fun seeing what she can do. Maybe you pulled her and we're looking for a little bit of direction. Maybe this gave you a little bit of that direction. Either way, I appreciate you guys watching. I had fun with it. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all rock. I'll see y'all later.